chat that we will be starting shortly.
All right, I am going to mute myself and hide myself. So you tell me next or move on or something.
Excellent.
And I'll do it.
And so I'll let people enter the conference space right now, and then just go through some of my stuff, and then you all can mute yourselves and unmute yourselves at will. Does that sound good? Are we ready to go? Thumbs up. Thumbs up. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are so glad you could join. Feel free to turn your video on if you want to smile at the other folks joining us today. This is actually our last session of our first day of Young Minds Matter 2021. So we're so grateful that you made it through the day with us. This is a really special session that we have. We were just laughing together in the pre-session because there's so much content we want to share with you, and we're going to pack it all in. So we're really grateful that you could join. This session is called Eastern Parents and Western Children. I'm going to try to move quickly because there's, like I said, a lot of content we want to cover. My name is Will Crary. I'll be the moderator for this session. And really what that means is I just have the distinct pleasure of working with the presenters behind the scenes on a communities of care project called Project Rise and Shine. And so they're going to share a little bit about the work that they do. And while I'm going over some housekeeping items very quickly, I just thought maybe in the chat we could try to get things going by responding to the questions, what brought you to this session and why does this topic resonate for you? So I can paste that in the chat. And last thing before I hand it over to our presenters today is just that the Q&A function is there for you on the Whova platform. If you have any technical questions, please send them in the chat. And my colleague, Lady Jane Aqua, who is joining and supporting with all of the tech needs, her and I can support you all, and we want to just make sure that you're able to focus on the content that our presenters are going to share. And the last thing I'll post in the chat here are just a couple links. One is a sign-in link to help us track who all went to which sessions, and then a CEU form for anyone looking to get continuing education units. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming our presenters today. I promised I wouldn't read their bios because they are all extraordinarily accomplished with many degrees, many experiences, many passions. And instead, I'm just going to let them talk about their work. So I'm going to hand it over to our presenters, Sharon, Haitrieu, Ryan, Carol, and Fujin. So thank you all, and we look forward to the Q&A session at the end.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is Fujin. Okay, I'll be the first one to present. Let me share the screen for my presentation. Okay. Oops. I just start with the first page. Okay. As Will say at the beginning, okay, this is really a collaborative work. Okay, a result of the work, part of the work we have done under the Project Rise and Shine. Okay, from some of the partners. So today we're going to share with you some of the very interesting findings we had so far, especially during the last 2 years. We are in the year 3 of the project. And I am from Sam Houston State University. That's my job, but also I'm volunteer for the Lions Association. So that's kind of I'm involved in 2 areas here. So today I'm going to give you some introduction about today's workshop. Okay, hopefully from the information we present, I list at least 4 objectives. Okay, the first one. This objective is also we want to know too. Okay, when we start the Project Rise and Shine. First one, we want to know the social and cultural determinants of the mental well-being among Asian American youth and the children. So the project focused on the Asian American youth and also the children in the Houston area. And also through the process, we know the myth of the model minority for the Asian American children, okay, and youth. And also we learned, okay, another objectives, hopefully we can achieve. We found out, you know, especially among the youth, okay, the youth voice, they want to create a safe space for Asian American youth to be themselves, okay? And also we want to provide some opportunity, hopefully provide some opportunity for Asian American youth to be community advocates and also the leaders. So in other words, the project focuses on immigrant family, okay? But definitely we more focus on how to make the youth, you know, in terms of their well-being in the community or in the family, you know, they can be themselves and also take a driver's seat, okay, for the community, because they are the hope for us, not us. I'm the older generation already. So today's presentation, we have 5 presenters, okay? I'm going to talk about the result of the community assessment because that's year 1 we have tried to do because we want to know what, you know, where are the state for the community in terms of the Asian American youth, their mental well-being. Oops, I hope you don't hear the background crying for my baby, my grandbaby. Okay. Second one, here, and also we wanted to, because this project involved Chinese community and also Vietnamese community. So I think the second presenter would be the Haitrieu. Okay, she's going to share with some experience from the Vietnamese community. And we're going to switch a little bit. The next one should be Sharon. Okay, Sharon will share with us about empowerment. Part of the project, we create the youth internship program and their accomplishments. So Sharon will share that one. And also we have a case study, Haitrieu Nguyen. He is one of our interns and he presents his project. So we would like him to share that. I think he's going to use his video. He already recorded his presentation. So the last one will be Carol Lee. She's going to talk about another one of the organization from this group, Alice, and their experiences in terms of the training, cultivate the youth leaders. Okay, so that's why we have a lot of information going to show you today. I'm going to talk about a little bit of Project Rise and Shine. Okay, this is since I think we established in 2019. Okay, the focus want to improve the mental well-being of Asian American children and youth. Okay, in the Houston area. So we found this collaborative. Okay, this collaborative include churches, most of the faith-based, okay, churches in the Chinese community and also in the Vietnamese community. And also we have a language school, and also we have 2 youth organizations involved. And we have counseling centers, okay? It's a 5-year project, so we are in year 3. So year 1, so I think when we decide to do something, we know there's some problem we need to, you know, it's not necessarily a problem, it's just something we want to know. We want to, you know more about intergenerational, you know, the gaps or any kind of relationship within the older generation and younger generation. So the year 1, and also as required by the Hogg Foundation, or the project is supported by Hogg Foundation. So we need to do a community assessment. So from September 2019 to March 2020. So it was very good before the pandemic. Okay, we were able, it was so lucky. Okay, before the pandemic, we were able to interview about 123 youths and also 422 parents, and from Chinese and also the Vietnamese community. The reason we deliberately intentionally want to include the youth voice, because there are lots of study, okay, they focus on the parents, okay, what the parents think about that, but sometimes overlook the voice from the youth. So I think for this study, for this community assessment, we really intentionally want to include the youth. And we also use 2 strategies. One is a focus group and interview. So there were about 24 sections of focus group interview. Each focus group interview lasts about 1 to 2 hours, depending on how many people in the interview. We also have an in-person survey, okay? Because the focus group take a longer time. So we decided to do another 48 section of in-person survey, okay, for them to complete. So the total, we have about 49 youth participating in focus group and also 74 parents in focus group. So I'm going to present the result next few slides from both focus group and also in person, okay, in the survey. You can see all the participants, we recruit the participants through our network, through our partners, okay? It's pretty much very representative, okay? If you look at the color, the shape, and that's where the Asian American concentrate geographically in the Houston area. So pretty much our sample are very representative. So I'm going to quickly share with you a few slides about the result here, okay? Because like I said, we want to really know the youth, their attitude and their belief, and also the parents one. So first question we kind of want to know is what are the important social and cultural factors to be addressed in your community with the goal of increasing mental health and no safety and reduce the health inequality. And you can see I went to contracts, the result from the youth and the result from the parents. And I would say the first two of them, social network and trust, participation and willingness to act on the common group, pretty much they both youth and parent sample, they are the same. And we found out very, once we go further, then we found out the differences here. For the youth, okay, almost half of them feel like the change of the norms and culture in the community, just talk about our community, and are more important. And parents also 38% or 39%, but much lower than the youth. Education, see, you can see the immediate difference. More parents do think about we need to improve education. Why the youth say no, 28% of them say. You see, so we start to see the differences between the youth and also the parents, what they thought, okay? How about 3 most important mental health issues among AA youth? You can see I circled that for the top 3. The black one is what? The data result from the youth. The kind of the light green one is from the adults, the parents, okay? And you can find that for the children, for the youth, they identify depression, academic and school stress are the two top one. But if you look at the parent, what is the top one? Gaming. They still think about kids spend too much on the social media, okay? The game. And also social media addiction, that's this one, you see? Also is very hard, the top one by the parents, okay? And I try to also highlight, because today we have an internship program, they will focus on the smoking and e-cigarette. Because this is what we identify. I'm surprised too, because we tend to see Asian kids, they are good kids, they don't smoke, they don't do any bad things, they just follow the parents, whatever set up for them to go. But in fact, there were quite lots of youth say, smoking and e-cigarette is a problem, okay? But the parents, you see, parents don't see it, okay? See, the parents, the yellow one is very low. So the parent doesn't see this is a problem here. So you can see, even, think about the problem for the youth, the well-being. The parents have different view and the kids have a different view. Okay, we also asked, this is from the focus group interview, the factor affecting AA youth and children's mental health. And you can see, this is from the youth sample, this is from parent sample. Who are the problem here? Parents, right? But the youth tend to see the parents' pressure, and the parents tend to see what? Different cultural system. So we do see there's a 2 cultures involved here. So if we give you a list, the youth tend to see what? The pressure and stress from their parents, especially the parents focus on 2 narrow definitions of their success, only for academic, okay, success. They don't give a much more choice for their kids. Of course, the pressure from their peer also is important too. For the parents acknowledge there's a difference between the culture and belief system between their generation and also their children's generation. So the parents know there's a cultural conflicts here. And as a new immigrant, parents also feel like the kids are in the West, we call the American culture system, and they are found more like Asian culture system, so different. And many parents also see they need a skill, okay? They need a skill to learn how to deal with that, more dialogue. So our major conclusion from this community assessment, we found that youth and parents have a different perception about community needs and kids' mental health issue. And cultural identity among AA youth. So that was another one, cultural identity crisis, because they don't know, especially the Asian American youth, they don't know which culture they will belong to. or maybe they should belong to their own cultures, okay, identity. And also they want to create a safe and relaxed environment for dialogues, the dialogue between two generations. And also we found out, youth empowerments are so important and they want it too, okay. So this is I'm sorry, the time, because of time constraint, I just quickly go through it. If you want more detail about the result, we are happy to share with you. So this is my presentation. I want to show the next presentation will be Haitrieu, and she's going to talk about the experience, the experience from the Vietnamese community. Okay.
Lady Jane.
Can you share this? Oops.
Lady Jane, are you able to share the slides still?
It's coming. All right, my name is Haitrieu Nguyen. I worked at Sam Houston with Dr. Dang at one time. That's how I got involved in this grant. I am very active in the Vietnamese community. I've been a scout leader for since 17, so over 30 something years. So the community that I work closely with is the youth in the northwest part of Houston. Dr. Dang has already mentioned some of the similar struggles, but could you go on to the first slide? Next, please. Thank you. What I really want to highlight, why I really got interested in this project and why I'm really passionate about it is from Dr. Dang's research. As a sociologist, I was really curious to figure out why in this particular study that Dr. Dang just went through, Vietnamese youth actually struggle more with depression and suicidal thoughts than the Chinese youth. That was really stood out to me. And this is consistent with another study that another peer of mine did in 2009. They found quite a bit of depression as well. Of course, that particular study talked about how having authoritarian parenting caused a lot of low self-esteem as well as depression. It was interesting because both these studies were done at the same church. These kids I work with, I know. So when the study came out, the result came out, I took it upon myself to kind of like really dig into why this could be the case. And as a sociologist, this is what I am observing. One of the things is that people don't know, even though we're Vietnamese and we're considered the model minority, really, we have always been colonized. We had 1,000 years under the Chinese rule, 100 years under the French rule, and 20 years of war. So the intergenerational trauma is so apparent when you start looking at the Vietnamese, the way we parent our kids. Secondly, struggles with two cultures. Dr. Dang already kind of alluded to that. Third, academic pressure. And fourth is collective trauma. I think these four things is really what contribute to the higher rate of depression for Vietnamese-American youth. It might just be Houston, but I'm going to guess that it's going to be more than that. So what I want to go through is really focus on the trauma aspect, right? I am myself a first generation Vietnamese. I came at 9. And after any trauma, I don't care what it is, after trauma, huge trauma, your brain really gets rewired into a survivor mode. And all the parents who are the parents to the current youth that we're looking at right now have had really chronic PTSD. I myself have chronic PTSD. Our development from just whether it's bombs, one disaster after another, prison, escape, our grandparents, our parents being off to prison really created a different kind of environment for these youth. And it's something we don't think about, but the Vietnamese-American and as well as other ethnic groups can be very different from the Chinese Americans or even Thai or Filipino. So what I really want to come out and address in this particular presentation is that we're all very different in the way we were brought up. We're not just all model minorities, right? Because this one study I found in Australia says that half of the Vietnamese who had any mental disorder had actual PTSD. And I can tell you, anything that happens before 8 is very traumatic to a child. So whether you're older or younger, but you're talking about the first generation like myself, the grandparents, the great-grandparents. So it's actually in our genes somehow, this PTSD. And I am not surprised of the high rate of depression. It was the first thing that my mom said when she heard of the result of the study. It must be because it's just in our blood, is what she said. That was her first thing that she said. But it's in our blood from all the traumas we've had. Next, please. And all these pictures, a lot of it I take myself or I find myself. This picture I took, it's the second reason I think that's a big struggle for Vietnamese-American youth, why they struggle, just like other Asian, is just having this dual identity, having these two cultures. Even though I came when I was 9, I speak English pretty well. I myself grew up with these two identities, right? Inside the home, you take off your shoes. Outside the home, you wear the tennis shoes. That's just to represent our different identities. Inside the home, my kids are expected to say yes. They really don't know how to say no. Outside, they might be able to say no, but they're so used to saying yes that it's actually very hard for my kids to say no, even outside the home. My son, who's now just gone up to Georgetown, he doesn't know how, and he's a very confident young man, but I'm now realizing that our kids have a hard time saying no because they're so used to saying yes. And even our Vietnamese language, could you go back? Even in our Vietnamese language, yes, yes means yeah, no is yeah, không. Even our no, my kid says, includes the word yes. So it's yes, no for no. So it's like, they're so confused, but it just to tell you the mentality of the Vietnamese is you always obey inside the home. And also outside the home, you're expected to have individualism, your own idea, go for your own dreams. So it gets very conflicted for our youth, and hence some of the depressive symptoms. Next, please. The pressure is always there. I can see that. It's something that's in all my scouts. If you ask any of them, definitely the academic pressure is definitely there. So I definitely agree with the assessment from that Dr. Dang shared with you guys earlier today. Next, please. So I had an essay contest, and I just want to highlight, the incredible pressure that these kids face. I was raised to prioritize my education, which I'm grateful for. After all, my good studying habits and academic excellence opened numerous doors for me. However, I held some quiet resentment towards my parents for not nurturing me beyond that. My stunted communication led me to have no friends, anxiety, and severe depression, which unfortunately defined most of my experiences in school. So this is a 12th grade Vietnamese student who wrote this essay. Next, please. This one, I was just so amazed at the level of perfectionism in this child, that she felt like she had to have success in everything. It's not in this particular quote, but she even said, I felt like I had to make a perfect bún bò Huế, which is a Vietnamese soup noodle. It even extended to cooking, this sense of excellence for them. Next, please. And last but not least, the Asian hate trauma that we have always felt. I think what we saw in March or the entire pandemic is nothing new to us. My scouts, who I'm very close with, who I do anything for them, repeatedly talk about the microaggression as well as the macroaggression that they feel. So there's a common collectiveness in this trauma. And remember, with Vietnamese, they've had this trauma in their blood, and now here. And so it even tells you to the point, during the March episode of the 6 Asian women who were killed in Atlanta, I was so frustrated that none of the Vietnamese adults spoke up, because speaking up gets you killed in Vietnam. That's versus my Chinese kind of friends here on the screen here, they all, you know, a lot of them spoke up, but only the youth spoke up, and even then their parents didn't. So there's a lot of collective fear and trauma that's still being healed. Last, I'd like to share with you a video that a Vietnamese-American student did for our video contest, and it really just kind of like sums up everything that we talked so far. Jane, can you play it? Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, that needs a little work. Sharon, can you start while I work on this? You are muted.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Can you guys see it? Can you see this? The PPT?
Yes.
Yeah, right now we see the whole PowerPoint and not in presenter mode.
Okay. Let me, okay. I hope this is good enough. Okay. Okay. My presentation is about our internship program, and you know, our Rise and Shine projects not only encourage Asian American young people to participate in community service, but we also have the internship program to encourage young people to take the lead in advocating certain important issue related to the mental health. During the need assessment interview process, many young people and parents, they raised the issue of children smoking, especially the high proportion of youth e-cigarette. According to the result of the evaluation, okay, you can see as shown this picture, the figure, the main reason that caused Asian American young people to smoke is because the racial problem in society, conflicts in cultural identity, and pressure from their parents' expectation. Okay. Enable bring positive change to the community. Light and Soul created a 9-month internship to teach leadership and advocacy skill, especially on cancer prevention. Sorry, I need to wear my glasses in. Okay, but so we train our intern, especially on the cancer prevention legislation and education, also tobacco education and awareness. We recruit 8 Asian American young people from high school and college, 6 of them from Houston, 1 from Austin, and 1 from the Dallas. The goal of the internship is for the student to develop cultural appropriate tobacco or e-cigarette prevention interventions using the information that they have learned from the speaker and their presentation. Okay, we divide this 9-month project into 3 phases. The first one is advocacy skill training, and then they were developing a community outreach project, then final presentation to the whole team. Okay, so here's the list. We invite speakers from different professional organizations to train our interns. From the list, you can tell the speaker from American Heart Association and Prevention Institute, Social Justice. Who's Will? Mr. Will, yeah, he came to our training program too, okay? And we also invite Harris County Public Health, Tobacco Control Program, and so on, okay? So this is, we have so many professional speakers to come to our intern to train. And especially, I think I heard the special one is the Jing Wu, the state representative, Mr. Jing Wu. His topic, he encouraged the young people to speak out, okay? That people to hear their voice. That's very impressed, okay? And this is the final presentation. We have all the interns here, but yeah, but we only catch this so a few people's picture, but yeah, they demonstrate their project, and also they received their certificate for completion. Okay. Okay. You know what? Because the time limitation, I plan to present all the projects for them, but I don't think we have the time to do that. So I will just skip some of the project and pick only few to show you how wonderful their project is. Okay. All right. Let me see. I can see the page. Okay. So this project called the nicotine series. Okay, it's by Presley Johnson, and let me show. See if I can. Oh, do I need to stop this then show share the link?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can open up the browser that you had earlier, Sharon, and that should be able to show it.
Okay. But I don't think you guys can see it. Do you see it?
I think if you stop sharing right now,
Right.
Okay,
that
that
means
makes
starting
sense.
again.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, this is one of the project. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Pressy, she created a website. Okay, and with a mini flipping book to attract teenagers to learn about cigarette use and things young people may not know. Okay, and like you see, she used picture. Okay, here some picture and the show question to that young people to to interested about the content. So you just click, then, oh, it's not good to, okay, here's some conversation and some theory or question or information like is e-cigarettes better than safer, did you know something about the cigarette? And provide some reference. This is important. So they really study to provide important reference to young people. Okay. And I will show, okay, another one.
And Sharon, maybe for the sake of time, I actually have Haitrieu's video pulled up too, and we can see after we hear from Carol and Ryan if we have time for Haitrieu's video and another example. Does that sound good?
You know what? I will share the last one.
Let's see it.
So, okay. Alrighty. Okay, so this project is from by Kate. Okay, Kate also created a website which the front page is her original artwork. Okay, so she divided the original plant into 9 pieces. If you click on each pieces of the picture will lead to the anti-smoking link. Okay, all right, because my internet is so slow. Okay, and the link will take you to some interest page. Like if you need, you like to know more about the smoking, just click the smoking, then we'll show some of the information. Sorry, because my internet is so slow. Okay, and the information's it's a pretty help, you know, help you to understand and how you could to get the where you can get the information and who you can talk to, the hotlines, all the information is in the page. Okay, so this is a wonderful project. Okay, you don't want to go back. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna go back to the, I know I don't have time to, okay. So unfortunately, I can show you all of the project we have. This can move. Okay. All right. Okay. Actually, this is all the project they made. Okay. And this one is, the project is by Ryan. Later on, we will watch his video. Okay. So just skip this one. And after reading the project of these interns, you may be curious about the impact of this project on them. This slide is before and after assessment result. The main content of the assessment is the 7 question because of time. So I won't look at each one, but from this table, we can see that the biggest impact is to help them know who is the administrative officer. And they feel very confident in advocating certain important issue. Through this 9-month internship, we have got some conclusion and result. The 9-month internship increased these interns' understanding of election of official, and they have more confidence in participating in advocacy. And the second, Asian American young people actually are interested in learning about citizen participation and doing things to change their communities if they have opportunity and know how. The number 3 is during the training, it was discovered that reaching out to elected officials and policy can help motivate young Asian American to participate more in community activities. The number 4, although the 9-month intern program has been complete, several items express their interest in continue to work with Light and Salt and advocating for cancer prevention issue in Asian community. The last one, through this 9-month internship program, the leaders of Light and Salt also learn how social media platforms such as Instagram and TikTok can improve communication with the young generation. That's why we need to learn. Okay, so yeah, so about my presentation, I finished my presentation, but we will watch a video, Ryan's video, his project. Okay.
You know what? Given the time, can we have the Carol present next?
Okay.
Yeah, we can post Ryan's video so that folks can watch it afterwards, and with the remaining time, we can allow Carol to share with us and see if any questions are coming up.
Yeah, I think that would be better. Yeah.
Perfect.
And so Haitrieu, I thought the Haitrieu video is already connected, or just Carol present first?
I think Lady Jane is going to share Carol's slides, and so we can see the
I'm sharing Carol's now.
Okay, so
great.
Carol, can you
And what
present
we
first?
see, Lady Jane, is the entire next slide and notes instead of just the slide that we're wanting to see.
Okay, what do you want to see?
Just the slideshow, so not the notes.
Okay, hold on.
Carol, are you mute? You are mute.
There you go. Carol?
Yes.
Let me know when to move.
Okay. Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm traveling in China right now, so it's early morning. Hi. So my name is Carol Lee. I'm the parent advisor for a youth leadership organization. It's called the Alliance of Youth Leaders in the United States. And I'm very happy to be here to share with you our community service experience and how it impacts the youth and the parents. Thank you. A little bit background. We call, okay, the abbreviation is ALIS. ALIS is a youth leadership nonprofit organization. We promote the development of the youth creativity, leadership, and initiative through planning and execution of volunteer projects that aim at benefiting the communities. So basically, we organize a lot of community services, voluntary events. The majority of our youth members are Asian American second generation. Can you go back to the first? Sorry, I probably will spend a lot of time on the first slide where this has the most words. Okay, ALIS Parent is founded in 2015 by 4 high school students here. And it's one of the, actually it's become 100 branches in the United, recently. So we are one of the 100 branches in the US. So we become one of the partners for Rise and Shine projects in 2020. I think this is not my latest slide. Do you want me to share my screen, or maybe I can share my screen with the latest slides? Sorry, because I made the last.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. No, if you want to share your slides.
Yeah, I made the last moment modification.
Oh, that's okay.
Yes, this is, I think you can share it, but I don't know how I can.
If you go to the bottom right, there's yeah, that one right there.
All right.
Excellent.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so because the reason I know it was not because I put 100 here, because we just had a new branch join us last week. That's why I'm sorry. So a little bit more background, other than the highlight I put on the slide. A little bit about Pearland. Pearland is a small town, a small city in the south of Houston, and very close to Houston downtown and the medical center, the very famous medical center here. And the majority of our youth, the families work at Texas Medical Center. And there are a lot of hospitals, medical schools like Baylor Medical School, and a lot of research institutions such as MD Anderson Cancer Center, which is one of the biggest one in the world. So the parents of the youth, Chinese or Asian American youth, the parents are a lot of them that are the first generation immigrants. Just like myself, I came to the United States in the 1990s after I got my bachelor degree in China and come here for graduate study. And I actually studied biochemistry first. So that's the same, very similar background to a lot of the parents of our youth. And they're all highly educated. When we have a gathering, like Chinese American gathering in parent, you probably see more PhDs than non-PhDs. So that's the parents' background. And then the high school here, Dawson High School is very new and it's highly competitive. And our kids, achieved very well academically. So this organization, ALIS, was founded, the branch was founded by 4 high school students. They're all in college right now. And so, okay, just a little bit more I want to share is we parents, I started participating with my kids in a community service activities during the Harvey period. So ALIS parent organize a lot of activities like helping with the people who suffer from the flooding. So that was my kids. I have 3 kids. The youngest is 13 years old right now. So I've been through all this process, like raising a kids, American kids, and as a first generation Chinese American. And I also know like my expectation have been changed starting when they were just they're later than now after they have participated in a lot of community service. So this is a conclusion. The first item here is a conclusion, but I'll share with you how we get here. We believe when kids come together to help others, they're happier and they're healthier. And the ALIS parents organizes volunteer events through teamwork to build self-esteem, character, compassion, friendship for the youth. Okay, next slide, please. I'll show with you a lot of pictures about our community service and what we get from there and the kids' feedback. Okay, so the benefits of youth participating in community service, especially for our Asian kids, of course, the kids and parents know we contribute to the community. At first, the major community service activities ALIS parents engage or helping the city of Pearland and some nonprofit organizations in Pearland. There is a park and a recreation department in Pearland. They have been the main organizers for all the major city events. For example, the summer concert series and Christmas celebration, Independence Day celebration, and there are other environmental organizations like Keep Pearland Beautiful. They are managing all those events like building the parks and maintaining the parks and planting trees. So those were the first group of organizations we collaborate with. So the youth participate in a city events, for example, like the left photo, it was taken part many years ago during the summer concert series. So our volunteers were helping with the raffle drawing, I believe. And the next one here on the top right is we're helping with the community park, the landscaping in the spring. We have organized a lot of events to cleaning parks. So we've been to many parks in Pearland. So here is a feedback we received from our youth. He said, as humans assist each other so we can all enjoy a better life. and to make our community a better place. So that's their feedback. Okay, so more pictures, and the left one is the distribution of the tree to the community in the spring, where we were helping keep Tehran beautiful. And if so, it's interesting if you see the kids with a lot of holiday decoration, is carry a lot of that, and because they are decorating the Independence Park for the holiday. And then see, they are putting lights on the trees. More feedback here from another volunteer. That Alice brought a rich variety of experience and opportunities to the monotonous and changing online life. This is during the pandemic. So we have seen a lot of more participation since the pandemic, because both parents and the kids, they want to go outdoors. So we had so much sign up, when we had outdoor activity. But of course, during the pandemic, we have two types of activities. One is we arrange more outdoor activities so they can step out of their room, because it's been like more than a year online schooling since pandemic. And another one is online teaching and tutoring program. I'm going to talk a little bit later. So what I have observed, parents usually were the first ones. No, they found this organization and they say, hey, I really want my kids to participate. It's one of the main factors, I would say, is, hey, they're almost high school. They need to do community service. They need to get volunteer hours. It's very important for their college application. I have to admit, that's also one of my thoughts when I let my kids start joining community service. However, after they started, both parents and kids saw it's much more than the service hour, and the benefits to the kids and to the relationship of parents and the kids. It's not just the service hour, not just like look better on their resume. It's really for their growth and for their mental health, for their understanding of the community more, for both parents and kids, actually, because we're the first generation, so we don't know a whole lot about everything about this community. And also in our Chinese culture, really, a community service is not, it's different, I would say. It's just different culture. We contribute to the community is through a lot of different venues than community service. So this is very new to the parents. So,
Carol, we only
yes.
have a couple more minutes here. I know that one of the slides that you have actually talks about this idea of healing through activism and how important it is to come together as a community. And I'm wondering, with our last couple minutes, if maybe you wanted to share some of those points that you were just describing.
Okay, yeah, so that's the feedback we put. Okay, so let me very quickly go through it, a couple of slides, all pictures. So also, we believe the community service gain sense of purpose and become happier. The youth will become happier. So this shows you our youth distribute about 2,000 meals to the low income families during the pandemic. And they had a fundraising, they collect money and purchase a lot of PPEs, and they pack and distribute it to the community. And this is the same thing. And the feedback we received from the recipients, and also the article on our local newspaper regarding the donation. And also, we believe the community service boosts the self-esteem of the youth. If you see, they're so happy, and they do a lot of non-academic activities here, and they show their talents, and we have organized a lot of activities like we help out with special needs community, and we visit nursing homes every year. So it gives them more knowledge and understanding of other ways of life. Boost their self-esteem. I probably put this in the wrong place. And the youth provide a lot of lessons, swimming lesson, tennis lesson, chess lesson, and actually a lot of online tutorings during the pandemic. And we also made it a fundraiser. We actually just donated about $3,000 to Houston elementary school with like about 95 of their students from the low income families. We actually, the fund was from all the tutoring activities the youth did. So each slide we have some feedback from the youth about the events. Build family bond and friendship. So, you know, if you see this picture, the parents and the kids come together, they grow a lot of plants, and we did a summer plant sale. So we collect money to fund our first all-inclusive park in Pearland, and the family came together to plant the trees. And they're very happy, you know, when they participate the event. And if you see all the smiles on everyone's face, so they build a friendship, and also they build the bond, the family bond through the activities. Okay, here, I guess this is the one. So a lot of words again here, but I really want to read it and then share with you, because when I read this, I say, okay, all the effort I put in here, I really feel it's worth it. It really drives us parents and kids to go forward, you know. Let me read it. My experience with volunteering with ALS has taught me multiple lessons. First, it allowed me to recognize my privileges. Being born into a stable household with working parents, having adequate food and receiving a good education, I have learned to be grateful with resources I have access to, and how to use those resources to help others who have less than me. I think community service taught me how to be empathic and compassionate to others, and how to share, not just sharing tangible materials such as clothes and books, but also sharing ideas and kindness. I have also learned from how fun it is to volunteer, whether it's planting trees, teaching youngster kids, and sorting school supplies. I feel accomplished after each event. My experiences have taught me that you can make a difference in society and world while concurrently having fun. At first, volunteering on the outside sounded like a chore to me, as if I was forced to do it just for the sake of doing it. However, I found myself deeply involved and connected with those volunteer events. Later on, it went from my mom asking me to join certain events to the opposite, me asking my mom to sign me up any opportunities I can take. Overall, community service has instilled unforgettable lessons and values within me, and no textbook or lecture could. So this is from an 8th grader. So she has not started high school yet. So it's really very rewarding when we read their feedback. And another one from a high schooler: volunteering was a great way to help me stay impactful and productive when everything shut down, and even give me the opportunity to meet new faces virtually after not being able to see my friends from school. This is, he mentioned about our online teaching. We had online teaching program to help people in Wuhan when the whole city was shut down. And we also have the online tutoring program during the summer to help with the local kids, to also fund. It's a fundraiser for the schools with low income families. So overall, overall, ALS and volunteering has helped me develop respect, compassion, and dedication as a growing teenager, and has forever changed who I am for the better. So these are from the kids. We still have a lot of feedback from the parents and what's a positive impact they have seen, through the community service, also through working with their kids together in the community service. And we will share with you, we just had this call for essays project that just finished last weekend. So we haven't shared everything to the Right Sunshine project yet. So we're going to share with you all of the feedback we got.
Well, thank you so much, Carol. I think it's so powerful to see the pictures along with the words from the young people. And I mean, to knowing that most, if not all of our presenters are parents, and to hear your words, to hear the first generation, second generation perspectives, and trying to support one another intergenerationally to understand your role and in community service and collective action, and how it's not just for the community, but it impacts the well-being of each of the individuals as well. So I know we're running out of time here, and I wish we had time to hear from Ryan, who is one of the young leaders that you all work with. And Lady Jane was actually able to add Ryan's recorded video to the session, so we can go back and watch it another time. And in the chat, I added a few links for anyone interested in signing in, offering feedback, and getting CEU credits. And just again, a big thank you to our presenters. We know you all put so much energy and effort, not only into this presentation, but into the coalition of you all coming together and supporting young people, and supporting young people support other young people. So it's just such an incredible project. And we're grateful for you all. There's a closing session happening right now in the main room. And so I think we're going to sign off here, say goodbye, say one more thank you, and looking forward to the next time we all get to connect. Bye, everyone.